Hey,
Whoa.
the sleep episode is all out now, all out there in the world, and many of you had comments. Believe it or not,
And we have responses.
we have responses today. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna respond.
Let's take a look at what's the first one we got here.
Well, first of all,
what are we
if
gonna
you
do?
haven't seen the episode, go watch that because otherwise this is
Yeah,
really not very relevant to you.
yeah, it's not gonna make any sense.
Yeah, go watch the
You're gonna be
sleep.
watching this and be like, what?
There's 4 videos.
Who are these guys?
I'm very proud of them. Are you proud of them? I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
did a bang up job. That's slang. It doesn't mean that we broke anything. I think we did a good job.
And I think people liked it.
I think people did. Some of you had some criticism, though, and some of you. So we picked out mostly, I think, critique comments.
It was constructive criticism.
yeah, constructive or stuff that we didn't touch on that maybe we should have, or just didn't have time to in an episode. But we could touch upon it now.
Yes.
For instance,
Yeah.
J-Rod-
J-Rod Music
J-Rod Music.
said, "Science isn't really." This is in response to the first video, which was called
What was it called? How?
"How Science Changed Sleep Forever."
Yes.
And he was responding to the title because science isn't really changing sleep, though. Sleep has always been sleep. We're just discovering more about it now, which is true.
That is true, yes, and I kind of had my own internal debate about the title, I suppose, but really, doesn't knowledge change things?
Well,
Doesn't-
science changes the way we think about sleep.
I know, and we did think about, we did consider that as the title, how science changes the way we think about sleep, but we thought it was too
Well, yeah,
wordy.
I think it was the amazing discovery that led us to think differently about sleep sometimes.
Yeah,
That was the original
or
title.
always,
Yeah,
or
always.
and or on Sundays.
Yeah.
But that was too wordy, so we thought, in the interest of getting people to read the title, we changed it. But also, you could debate, doesn't knowledge actually change? Just science is increasing our knowledge of sleep. Does that change our behavior?
It could, and I think a lot of the scientists we talk to want to change our behavior, want us to think differently about sleep, and make an overall change with our culture, so that we're being more healthy and thinking about sleep in a different way and putting more importance on it.
Yeah, but
So
maybe
science does change sleep
hopefully
forever.
That's our justification. Moving on.
Next,
comment was about the. We talked about the 4 stages of sleep.
Yeah.
This is from
Boundless Pictures.
Boundless Pictures. We'll just paraphrase. It's on the screen.
He basically said sleep is viewed as 5 distinct stages when we were talking about it in 4 stages.
Yes, and I think in high school or sometime I did hear about the 5 stages of sleep as well. But it seems like it's different for depending on who you talk to and depending on what you read. And the people that we talked to at Stanford all kind of referred to it in 4 stages.
Yeah, that's the way they described it.
So we
to
just
us.
went with 4 stages. And I think it used to be the case where it was there were 2 different types of deep sleep.
Yes,
Is it-
there's like slow wave sleep can be separated into 2 kinds of waves of sleep.
Yeah, and you could categorize it as 5. You could categorize it as 4. We went with 4. I hope we didn't offend you fivers out there.
Yeah, I mean, either ways, I don't think wrong. You
Yeah.
know, like it just kind of depends on who you talk to.
Depends on who you talk to. Yeah, and that goes to show how little we still know about sleep. We don't even know how to categorize.
Yeah.
So, and then the third comment we got.
From Saxo Ungrammaticus.
This is a big one. I think we have a lot to say about this one. Saxo Ungrammaticus talks about how if we want to learn about sleep, we should learn about what happens when we don't sleep.
Yeah.
Which we do. I think he commented on an earlier video. We do talk about what happens when you don't sleep a little bit in a later video.
Yeah.
But basically, he says, don't you hallucinate after say a week or so, and then die if you had no sleep after a long time? Okay, so there's a couple things to say. One, analyzing what happens when you don't sleep is interesting, and you can learn a lot from that. But it doesn't necessarily answer the question of why you sleep, in general. That's one thing I would say to that comment. Number 2, and probably there's more to say, I think, is the what happens when you if you don't sleep, do you die? There's a debate about that.
Yeah. There was a study in the 1980s that they sleep deprived rats, and after 32 days of total sleep deprivation, all the rats were dead.
Yes. So you could conclude that no sleep, dead. That's what happens.
But in this,
Yeah.
the scientists in the article, they even say that no one knows exactly why the rats died.
Yeah, because when you have lack of sleep, is it just the lack of sleep? There's a lot of consequences that come from lack of sleep that could be the real culprit. We have a list here.
Some of the reasons that could have led to it was that hypothermia could have been a reason because your body temperature drops, when you sleep or don't sleep. Could have been that the immune system was compromised, the bacteria in their intestines spread throughout their body, but that was probably not because they gave the rats antibiotics.
Yeah.
And it could be because of brain damage or even just extreme stress.
Yeah, I mean the things they have to do to keep the rats awake could be a cause.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did. Maybe they shocked them. I don't know.
And that'd be pretty stressful.
That would be pretty stressful. I don't know if there's any definitive proof that if you just stay awake for a long time.
There's no proof. There's no documented case of a human dying from lack of sleep.
Just lack of sleep. Like, because there's something called
fatal familial insomnia, which is a very rare inherited disease of the brain, which basically progressively worsening insomnia. You can't sleep, leads to hallucinations, delirium, and confusional states like dementia.
Dementia. That's going to be the name of my first daughter. Dementia.
And I'm going to name my first band after that.
Okay.
Your daughter.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And people die from that.
Yeah. So in that case, it seems like it could be because of the lack of sleep, but it could be because of that gene or whatever
it's like a prion disease.
What we're saying is there's no conclusive evidence that you die just from lack of sleep.
It's interesting though.
It is interesting, and I would say just make sure you get enough sleep. Bad things will happen if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things that happen. When you're sleep deprived, you're more likely, to get into car accidents, things like that, and that would kill you. Or just fall down the stairs.
Falling down the stairs. Maybe just have a ramp in your house if you don't want to sleep.
Be always laying down.
Yeah. Okay. And this is an interesting question. That guy over there with an arrow pointing at
the most interesting man.
The most interesting man in the world. That's his avatar. This is not sponsored by Dos Equis, by the way. Do plants sleep?
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
The simple answer.
Yes.
Plants don't have nervous systems, and it seems like you need a nervous system to sleep.
I think that's like part of the definition of sleep.
Yeah.
But that's just semantics. They do have a circadian rhythm.
Yeah, so they do respond to day and night.
They have a night-day cycle, which changes go through them, but they don't sleep, and that's because unfortunately they don't have a nervous system.
Or is
that fortunate?
Yeah. I don't have to worry about getting sleep.
Right. Imagine if trees
or what's going to happen
had a nervous system
Game of Thrones.
and mouths and would scream every time we chopped them down. Would we chop them down?
Yeah.
Would we?
Maybe if you put earplugs in them.
I mean, I guess it doesn't stop us from killing animals. So.
Well, imagine like a field, with a combine going through the field. Mm-hmm. What that would be like?
Ooh. Humans would probably still do it. Anyway, that's another topic.
We're terrible.
Terrible humans. That's that's another playlist. And then next. Ooh, this is a big one.
Big one.
We're not going to read all of it, but the summary of this one basically is. So we presented several theories as to why we sleep, and one of the theories, I think the fourth theory, was it? Yeah, was that it keeps you safe from predators. And Skater to Man.
Basically thought that was pretty ridiculous. And it does sound, I think, ridiculous at first. Mm-hmm. But I think if you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. Because when you're asleep, and especially if you think about animals, oftentimes you're going to be sleeping like in a den or in a hole or some safe place. Mm-hmm. And if you're, spending a third of your day, just hidden away in a safe place, you're less likely to be found by a predator, and you're going to live longer.
This doesn't apply to all animals because, as we pointed out, some animals have to go out of their way to be safe while they're sleeping, like dolphins, where they have to be half awake. So it doesn't apply to all animals, but it does, I think, in a lot of ways. Like our one of our producers, David, brought up the baby deer. Mm-hmm. Apparently, fawn. When the mother leaves, they just inherently know to stay still. They just don't move.
Kind of hunker down and
And so even like if a predator is like right near them, they're not going to find them because, you know, a lot of predators are like T-Rex. Their vision's based on movement.
Yeah.
According to Jurassic Park.
Basically, you know, like the wolf or whatever would have to like just stumble across the fawn, which is less likely.
I think, yeah, if you're not making noise, why would they go in your direction? And so, like, you can make the argument that, you know, the more you're asleep, the more percentage of your life you're asleep, that's a percentage of time you're not going to be in danger.
Make a stupid decision.
Make a stupid decision. Think of all the stupid decitions we make. Like, I'm not going to be...
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis. If I were asleep, I wouldn't be making a stupid decision.
Yeah.
So let's... we have notes on this one here? We have more notes? Did we cover them all?
We did.
Yeah, we did. We have a less chance of doing something stupid. Like humans, we sleep for 33% of our lives. So 33% of our lives are probably pretty safe. Pretty safe. So there you go. So it's just a theory, though. It's not the only theory as to why we sleep, but I think there's validity to it.
Yeah. It's obviously, I think, got to be in conjunction with some other things. It's not the only reason we sleep.
Right.
But I think it is a pretty important reason.
Yeah. So, this is a good one.
Yeah, Meowstick.
Meowstick. That's a good name, too.
Sleep is for organics, and it's overrated. Simply drop dead for 8 hours. Boot back up after that. Resume operations.
That's a good idea. If you are an android or a robot, and guess what? Since you're going to be particularly interested in our next topic, our next theme, our next episode, our next playlist, robots.
All about robots.
Next in a couple weeks, 3 weeks from now or so.
Yeah,
that's going to come out. 2
to 3 weeks.
What's the date of that one, Ryan?
Yeah, what's the date? Robots coming out?
Oh, good question.
June. Is it the second Monday in June?
Second Monday in June.
Yeah.
Monday, June 8th.
Monday, June 8th is when it's coming out. So, it's all about robots. We went to Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. We talked to a lot of robot experts. Pretty similar to what we did with
robots.
What we did with sleep, but with robots. And we don't learn how robots sleep because they don't sleep. Obviously, Meowstick knows that. Moving on.
This is from Skatered Man again.
Yes, he's good. You elicit response from us very, very well.
It said, "Gee, thanks, scientists, for proving we're doing it wrong. Now, if only we could convince society to do something about it. Most of the workforce is forced out of a good night's sleep by the demands of their work schedule."
Absolutely. We agree with you.
And the scientists we talked to would agree with you as well.
Yeah, like Dr. Playa was saying how, even like scheduling for school, kids get up too early and so they're sleep deprived, so they fall asleep in class. It's the demands of society have forgotten about sleep.
And sleep, in some ways, doesn't follow the schedule of society. Sleep follows the beat of its own drummer.
It's kind of its own thing. It's its own thing. Well, it tends to go with the circadian rhythm of our bodies and daylight and nighttime.
Yeah.
But we do need more of it. And so that's why we here at The Good Stuff work 2 hours a day. And we sleep the rest of the day.
Sleep 22 hours a day.
We sleep 22 hours a day.
I know. I think
that's why
we've got to get to sleep pretty soon. So
we got to wrap this up. That's why we bring you the quality that we do. And I know I do a lot of other YouTube channels, but those are clones of me.
Yeah. And clones don't need to sleep, right?
They don't sleep. Well, I kill them when they're done. So that's another issue. Stupcheck says, did I hear right? Did Weezy say he was 23 years old? It's about me being 23 years old?
Yeah,
yes.
You've got a birthday coming up, right?
Well, I'm 23 and a half.
23 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's why he looks way older than 23.
Yeah. Okay, next one. So this is about the song. What was the old Earth song that played at the end? At the end of the playlist, there's a song that's at the end of a lot of our playlists.
Yeah, we use that song all the time.
It's a friend of ours, Todd Umhofer. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sure.
Umhofer.
Sure.
Who has a musical performance or musical act that he calls Old Earth, and I guess would we call him Old Earth? I'll just call him Todd Old Earth.
Todd Old Earth, yeah.
And we use a lot of his music, and that song in particular is great because at the end he says, "I'll make a list of all the good things." It just works perfectly. He didn't. It seems like he wrote it for us, but he didn't.
No.
Well, he does have a Bandcamp page that you can get a lot of his music. We'll link down there, and I don't think that song is on there though. I don't know what happened to that song. It's called Physical Errand.
Yeah.
And we did shoot a video of him performing it live though, right here on this channel. We'll link to that too. And that's the most we can tell you. Check out all his music though. It's all very good.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah.
that one song. I'm just kidding. I don't know. And then finally, Good Stuff poster. Is there a way to get the Good Stuff poster? Yes. On our Patreon page, you can get it. There's one of the rewards that I think the contributions work monthly, but once you contribute, you get the poster. Is that correct? It's right when they contribute to the reward for the poster, they get it.
No, they build up. So if they're at the $10, they'll get it in 6 months. If they're at $20, they'll get it in 3 months.
Oh, if a $10 reward, you get it in 6 months?
Yep.
And $20 reward, you get it in 3 months? And then I think you can get, might have
There's
to
a
double
lot of stuff they could get if they want the poster, too.
Might have to check on this. Can you get it at DFTBA? I think you can just get the poster. That's to get the signed poster on Patreon.
Yeah.
Ooh, we may have to edit this part of the video.
Well, the answer to their question is yes.
Yes, there's a Good Stuff poster. Go to Patreon. There's a way to get it.
It's signed. It's gorgeous.
It's signed. Yes. That's all. That's all the comments that we have to respond to.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the sleep playlist. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've learned something from these comment responses. More than that we just like to ramble on about stuff for a while.
Yeah. We've got a new playlist coming out in a couple weeks.
We got a Patreon page. We got excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you want to add anything?
Stories for the good stuff. Gmail.
Stories for the good stuff at Gmail. If you have an interesting story, or you know an interesting person, or you are an interesting person or an interesting story, let us know about it, or you, at storiesforthegoodstuff at Gmail. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's
for listening.
Let's go to sleep. I can't sleep.
Just let it happen.
It doesn't work.
You're not letting it happen.